Ivan Dawkins reporting here from BS3 Network, live from Media Center, formerly known as Radio Row. Now it is now Media Row, because again, podcasters like ourselves are starting to take over. So terrestrial radio, get ready. We're going to take you down like this bad linebacker right here, Devon Kennard. He is an Arizona native, correct? He was drafted by the New York Giants. Now again, our headquarters are in Dallas, so we don't really like him that much, but because he got on the color blue, that's Cowboys blue, I decided to go ahead and talk to him.
I got some news for you. My dad played for the Cowboys and won a Super Bowl in '96.
What's your dad's name, man?
Devon Kennard.
He was an offensive lineman,
Offensive lineman, center and guard. So I grew up a Cowboys fan.
Then he back,
but I'm a Giants. You know, once you put on that Giants jersey, it's beef when I play the Cowboys.
I understand, but you're a native of Arizona. You played with them in Baltimore this year. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
yep.
Cool. How was those experiences? Can you tell us any differences about the organizations and stuff like that stand out to you?
I'll say you could. When I was in Arizona, you could tell that they were in a transition phase. Obviously, their GM and head coach got fired immediately.
That's right.
And you were sensing the tension in the building there.
That makes sense.
So when I went to Baltimore, it was night and day different in the sense of the stability is very much so there with the owner, GM, head coach. So I would say that was the biggest difference that you could feel in the building. Is they in Baltimore, you could feel like they have their answers, right. And you know, the season didn't go as they wanted once the playoffs started.
Shake them as an organization, because they got a foundation. And you want to know who I want to give credit for that? It's Ozzie Newsome, right?
Yeah,
he set that in place, man. And isn't his culture and fingerprint still on that organization?
I mean, he's still around every day.
Okay, is he? Okay.
You know, like I don't know.
Do you know what role they put him in now?
I think he was GM, maybe just advisor. I don't know what his exact role is, but I saw him dang near every day in the building.
Everybody that I talk to, man, they give big ups that have had anything to do with the organization. They give such big props to Ozzie, man, on the culture that he set, man.
I'll say one of the coolest things I saw in the Baltimore organization is I've never seen so many people of color in a building. I'm black, Hispanic, like I'm running in and bumping shoulders with people, and I'm thinking they're players. Right. And it's like, no, I'm a scout. No, I'm an exec. I'm in the marketing team. And just seeing that many minorities in the building. I've been on 4 teams now, and I've never seen that much diversity within the workplace outside of just the football team. Right. All the other departments.
Right. I love it, man. And one thing I gotta say about our people, man, is that we genuine, man. And when it's a certain energy that kind of creates. In other words, I've talked to so many people here where he's like, "Do you know him?" No, I don't know him. Just met him. You know, but the way we greet each other, and that energy and stuff like that. So let's get into you, Walter Payton, Man of the Year nominee in 2019. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What was that process like, man?
It was cool. It was when I was playing in Detroit, and it's when I really started diving into the financial literacy space, because I feel like across the country in general, but especially in minority communities, there's such a deficit, and it's hard when the people to look up to in the financial space are older, white men.
They don't look like us. They don't talk like us.
They're not people we look up to.
That's right.
So I feel like we're not exposed to certain things, and I'm like, me having an interest in the financial world, but being a professional athlete, I feel like I have a platform and I'm able to get in touch and connect with a different demographic. So that was my passion behind it, and my love is I want to help change lives of people of all ages, but especially minorities in different communities, because I want to see more people reach financial success and take it seriously, because I feel like it affects our lives physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, but people don't want to acknowledge our financial well-being. But a good example I give is if you're not in a good financial place and you got health issues, are you going to the doctor? You're not going to the doctor until you absolutely have to.
That's big.
And and that's not the case in other cultures.
And I gotta admit something to you, man. That's the first time I've ever heard somebody, when they're speaking of financial issues and financial literacy, to talk about it in such a what I'll call a 4-dimensional approach, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, I've not heard people talk to us about it that way. you know. But that can be tied to mental health, man. And I was coming in, and I think it was the former quarterback Kramer, connected to Detroit some as well, and he became suicidal and stuff like that, right? You know, so we really have to consider that. So now you do some financial literacy training and workshops and whatnot with the NFL Players Association as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So they brought me on to be a part of their workshops, and you know, I'm building out programs to where I can speak to more NFL and other pros teams. But you know, that's why this book, I want to bring it to everyday people as well, because I feel like there's such a need, and most people write themselves off. And if I told you how many times I've heard, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have done that. Well, it's like, well, you know, I want to be a part. I want to take it upon myself to be a part of helping the next generation not make the same mistakes that, you know, people in our generation and before have made. And then even for the older people out there, it's like there's things you can start to do financially now that can make sure you're in a better place now or a year from now than you are right now. People kind of like, oh, I'm already messed up, and they just give up and don't do nothing. But you can make your financial position better moving forward wherever stage you're in.
That's right. And when you say that some people are more reluctant to take baby steps, but if baby steps is all you can take right now, then that's what
it's worth it.
Because at least you're moving in a direction,
it's worth it. And there's like, you're either, I've learned this in football, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You never stay the same.
That's right.
So if you're not doing nothing, you're really getting worse.
Ooh, that's good.
You're like, if you're not doing nothing, because there's either getting better or getting worse.
Oh, that's what I need to know, because you're preaching in there, really. I'm telling you. So the name of the book is It All Adds Up, Designing Your Game Plan for Financial Success. I think that's big, because how many stories have we heard about athletes blowing money early, or whenever their careers are over, they don't have any money and stuff like that. And again, because we at BS3 Network cut our teeth in sports, there's a lot of young athletes that look at us and look up to us that need to start thinking about this now before they even get to college, man, really, especially with the NIL situations and stuff like that, right? So do we got a picture of the book? Can we grab so people can see it, and tell us about where they can find it and anything special you want us to know about it, man?
It's called It All Adds Up. You can find it on my website at devonkennard.com, but it's also on Amazon. Pretty much anywhere they sell books, you can buy it. So, you know, make sure you guys come support. I really think it can impact and change lives.
Right. Hey, man, it was good talking to you, man.
Yeah,
super impressive, dude, man. And best of luck to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And keep giving back, man, because that's what it sounds like that's taking place. There's so many people who are blessed in life, man, whether that means they're small blessings or huge blessings. They forget about giving back, man. And sometimes you can give back and still get paid. You follow what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It doesn't mean that you're working for free and giving up your time. It just means that I'm giving back in this sort of way. So I can tell the passion, man. And again, we're going to recognize this book, and I promise you we'll get it on BS3 Network. And there's a podcast that I run that I'm actually going to do an entire episode on financial literacy, and I'll talk about that. So I may try to contact you and see if you want to pop on and whatnot and do that, okay?
Awesome,
Devon, it was a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for taking the time. I'm sure there's a lot of people that need to hear from you and that are going to want to, man. So best of luck to you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Before we go, who we got in the Super Bowl, man?
I'm taking Philly.
Bye. Cut this off. BS3 Network out.